Epidemics, the very word, strikes fear into the general public. They hear the word and think of something dangerous and worry for their health. But the epidemic we're talking about today is nothing dangerous and actually enhances your health. A safety epidemic, one that ensures our employees head home in the same shape they arrived at work. Like any epidemic, you need to be aware of those pesky symptoms. We've seen them here at North Central. Side effects may include longer life, absence from the emergency room, no loss of life, fingers, toes, or limbs, going home to your loved ones in one piece, greater satisfaction at work, and attention to details. Anyone experiencing symptoms for more than 3 hours needs no medical attention. You only need to see a doctor if these symptoms cease. We joke, but in January of 2018, USA Today listed linemen as the 15th most dangerous job in America, just under law enforcement. With 15 worker-related deaths per 100,000 full-time workers, safety is a top priority at North Central Electric Power Association. In this film, we'll show you what we're doing to spread a safety culture, not just in the workplace, but when our family goes home to their family. From the top of our cooperative all the way to the bottom, we're working to make sure that our employees take ownership of safety so that everyone goes home in the same condition they came to work. How do you spread a safety epidemic? Well, at North Central, it's a top-down approach, starting with our CEO.
Safety is really important to me, mostly because everyone has the right to come to their job, work in a place to where we minimize risk, and the odds are they're going to return home safely every afternoon. You should really have the right to go home in the same manner in which you came into work that day. We all want to feel safe. People perform better when they feel safe, and it's our obligation to make sure that safety is a continuous practice on the job. We did not allow a catastrophic event to be the genesis of a safety program. However, you will see close calls. You will see everyday accidents that make you realize that you have to revisit your entire safety program. I would say that our safety program has improved exponentially over the last 5 years. A lot of it is having a director of safety and loss control that knows safety, but also is a compassionate person. Our director of safety and loss control did not inherit a large safety program. He had to build it from the grounds up. In doing that, instead of merely taking a program and enforcing it, we created one, which really brought in a lot more buy-in from the employees and a greater ability for him to implement it.
And step one of rebuilding that program, the safety manual. In 2001, North Central printed a small 5-inch by 8-inch, 118-page safety practice book, but it wouldn't do. In 2015, the Board of Directors commissioned a new safety plan for all North Central employees. In 2017, a new 150-page, 40,000-word safety manual covering every possible scenario that the safety department can think up was printed for all employees.
We wanted something that we could be proud of, something that every employee could have. They could sign off and take ownership of their commitment to safety by having that manual. And we have worked with engineering and operations and our safety and loss control, construction, as well as our administrative departments to put together a manual complete with photographs of our employees, emergency action plans and everything. And it's a document that we have and that we carry to every safety meeting as our commitment to culture.
These new safety manuals were given out to all employees in September of 2017 during Safety Day.
I thought Safety Day was a really good day. The lunch, getting the manuals, kind of getting everybody on the same page.
We are expected to perform at a very high level, and I think that is reflected in what we're going to talk about today.
We had a great day, great meal. We had special t-shirts printed, closed the office, and we were recognized by the NRECA.
It is not without some pretty thorough thought that I say North Central is by far and away sort of a flagship program of our state.
I think it brings us all together and work as one, you know, when we're all on the same page and on the same accord. As far as safety goes, I think everybody knows, you know, where something should be or where someone should be, or if something happens, we all have a precaution that we know as one that we can take.
The closing of Safety Day was a tribute to one of our fallen family members, the only on-the-job death North Central has ever had to experience.
The costs are already too high, and the pain is too great. But what would make that even worse is if we forgot the lessons that we learned from that tragedy. And even worse than that is if we repeated the same incident from the tragedy that we had already paid the price to learn from.
A few hours later, he was gone.
Instead of them picking the phase back up with the fiberglass, Travis reached up there just gonna turn it a little bit, and it was free. And when it did, it slapped him on the shoulder.
And we got the call that an employee had been hurt.
The display of the memorial and the video, I wasn't here when Travis lost his life, so seeing it and seeing the retired employees discuss it and talk about his life made it very real. I was asked to put the lineman on the pole. Of course, the event was tragic, and I already knew that going in. When the pole got delivered and I started to burn the lineman on, it was very surreal. It was a rush of emotions of that actually being his last spot. So it really touched me to be a part of it.
Moving on from tragedy, everyone at North Central assures proper safety, from training to testing to regular safety meetings.
We have a 5-year apprenticeship program now that we did not have years ago. I wish I'd have had something like that to go through. We had OJT, on-the-job training is what we had. The one guy that's testing is the one in charge right now. He went through a tailgate discussion this morning. He had to gather all his material up, and he's the one that's testing. Now, the rest of them are helping, and he's in charge, and he had to tell everybody what they needed to do for today. We're working to kind of just go over things that, refresh our memory on things, just to, keep us going. Well, we started out this year just trying to get everybody involved. If you go out here and put hands on, then, it's showing everybody you know what you're doing, so we're trying to get everybody hands on.
Remember what John Luke talked about? The way most of us learn is we hear it, we see it, and then we do it.
Is there something we could have done different or took a little more time to try to figure out a different way to do it? And some things we do take it a step further, and that's a good thing, because you never can be too safe. I mean, you can always do something better than a lot of times what the law says.
And it's not just our linemen that receive regular safety training. Customer service representatives, accountants, and everyone in the office attends quarterly safety meetings complete with hands-on training.
Safety's improved. Like I said, in the last 5 years since we started having these quarterly meetings, we get them more involved with hands-on type training, like fire extinguisher training. We have a fire safety program that JD helps put on, and when he does that, then they get to actually go out and use the fire extinguisher themselves. And the feedback from that was, we've been around a fire extinguisher all our lives, but we never operated one.
Never had training like this before I came to North Central, so it's great. It gives me ideas of how to handle things at home as well as at work.
I don't remember the last accident we had in office, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And as new technologies emerge, so do new opportunities to keep our employees safe in the field.
The arc flash tool that we created is a way for the crews to see their arc flash calorie exposure in the field working around energized lines. We wanted them to be able to know what their arc exposure was any place in the system. And so when they are in the field and they're using the tool, either they can pinpoint their location using the iPad or their phone, or they can place a switch number in the device, and then it will pull them up on the map. And when they click on the line segment that they're in, then it will let them know what PPE they should wear, whether it's long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, a shield, a face shield, or sleeves. Then you see your PPE. You can see you have to wear a long sleeve button-up shirt, face mask, pants, boots, safety glasses, hard hat, and rubber gloves. So there's some cooperatives and utilities out there that probably say, hey, we have a 5-calorie system or we have an 8-calorie system, and this is what you're going to wear every day, every time you work on the energized line. We wanted the crews to be able to worry about overdressing, for heat exhaustion, or excess fatigue, especially if you're in a restoration event or an emergency situation where they may have to work on a line extended period of time, especially in energized condition.
Even outside the office, our safety department created a demonstration trailer that shows the dangers of a lineman's work with a more on-the-ground approach to schools, public safety, and the community.
We sure do appreciate the opportunity to come out and do this demonstration for y'all. We just figured that, you know, having a demonstration like this that you could actually see and participate in would be a lot better than being in a PowerPoint presentation and just doing the best you can to stay awake. There you go. See how electricity's flowing through the balloon?
Our area police departments and fire departments put on safety days, and these are celebrations to where they bring all first responders out and talk about public safety and how important it is. And public power is public safety. The board of directors and our management team commissioned the construction of a safety trailer that shows a full setup from transmission to the end user, and it's important to dress it up and brand it under North Central with our employee faces on it, our statewide association, and have it out in the community to where it's recognizable. It's appealing to watch. It's actually entertaining to watch, and it's something that we carry out in the field for different community events.
From inside the office to outside in the community, the safety epidemic has spread, and it's something that has affected North Central employees so much they even take it home.
It really kind of hit home to me when one day I pulled onto campus and noticed something different, and our general manager had backed into his parking space. When you see folks doing the right thing and you start adopting that behavior and doing it yourself, we've gradually noticed that over time. We've got employees in the parking lot that are backing into their space and working safer.
If I have a kitchen fire or anything, I can kind of try to control it.
Just really being mindful of when I enter in the gate and also when I'm entering out, you know, just mindful of the parking lot, mindful of the doors that I'm going in and going out of, you know, just making sure that everything's secure as it was when I left.
I've always kind of been against text driving or even looking at my phone, but I've gotten even more. Turn my phone off, keep it in my purse, don't even have it out to see it light up in a car.
And that's how you spread a safety epidemic. It takes influence from the top of your organization and employees working to adopt that culture. It's how we at North Central make sure our families go home safe to their families.